when I should have let myself but I couldn't have. Oh no, I couldn't have. I always open my gut when I shouldn't have. Oh no, I shouldn't have.
All right, Chief. We're in.
Got it.
Strong girl squad.
Yeah. It's
Why?
awesome. Why does it exist?
Yeah.
It exists because for a couple of reasons. I was a 10-year affiliate owner. So I'd had my affiliate lnCrossFit in Lincoln and Lincolnshire for makes no difference, 10 years, which I really enjoyed. And, you know, went through every imaginable up and down of being an affiliate owner. Went through COVID, went through all of that. As a female affiliate owner, I had the benefit of attracting a lot of female members. And what I found, almost without exception, is that women would come to me in their mid to late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, into their 60s. And depending on how late in life they were, they will have been through, you know, 30 years of the diet mill, trying to change their bodies to no effect. And the universal thread was that no one had ever tried to teach these women how to lift weights. Like no one ever. And that kind of coincided with an experience I had where a member who was a teacher had asked me, she came to me after class and said, "Coach, can I ask you a question? I have some girls in my year 10 class. They're 14. They really want to get into some exercise." I was like, "Awesome. Pleased to hear it." And of course, they had joined their local leisure center, because that's what you do when you live in the middle of nowhere in Lincolnshire. You join whatever facility will take you. And these girls had a terrible experience at their local leisure center. They were harassed. They were made to feel really uncomfortable by some of the male members, and it really put them off. And when she told me that, I got so angry. I mean, no woman should experience that level of harassment, especially in a gym space. You know, we should all, everyone, male, female, of all identities, be able to walk into a gym and feel at least safe, if not welcome. And yeah, it really pissed me off. So I kind of did that thing where, like, I got so angry, I got calm, and I was like, but I guess my eyes got really big. This friend of mine was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna load my car full of barbells, and I'm gonna drive to your school, and I am gonna teach those girls how to lift weights and any of their friends who want to learn for free." So I volunteered to put on a free weightlifting workshop at her school. And God bless her, she made it happen. And, you know, it always helps to have somebody on the inside at a school, a teacher, an educator, somebody who believes in it, to get you in the door. And we went, I took 2 of my female coaches with me, and we taught a girls only weightlifting session. We taught them how to deadlift, and 53 girls turned up.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was nuts. So we had 2 sessions, and one was 20 girls, and the last one, that word got round, and the second one was 33 girls. And it was just, and like, we all kind of, after and we had like the experience where, you know, they come in their PE kit, shit scared, because they don't know me. They see all this equipment. We brought all these barbells and weights and everything. They see all this stuff laid out on the floor of the gym that they have no idea how to use. And we watched them go from physically scared stiff to laughing and lifting and high-fiving each other and begging us to put more weight on the bars. And it took like 30 minutes, like not even. And we all kind of, like, that second session went, and we all kind of looked at each other. We're like, I think we might be onto something.
Yeah.
And so what it's become is, we run workshops, we run holiday clubs specifically and exclusively for teenage girls. And what we found is that by creating a learning environment where girls feel safe, they feel supported. So they have coaches who are female and also super enthusiastic and really friendly and really excited about what we're teaching them. We support them materially as well. So we take donations of sports bras, leggings, trainers. I mean, the CrossFit girl community has more stash than sense, right? Like, we all just have more gym kit than we could ever wear in 3 lifetimes. And so we make sure that their material needs are looked after, because some, part of the reason why some girls will choose not to participate in sport could be something as simple as they don't have trainers that fit them. They don't have a bra that fits them. They don't have leggings they feel comfortable in. And so the Strong Girl Squad's really about supporting young women with whatever they need to feel safe and comfortable in the gym environment, so that they can learn to weightlift, they can learn to exercise, and they can learn to love it. And we're just about to celebrate our 2nd birthday. Yeah, I always joke that we kind of started a revolution by accident, because that's how it feels. And yeah, it's been after this is like my 13th year in CrossFit, 12th, 13th year in CrossFit, which has given me endless, incredible experiences. And yet this has been the most incredible of everything that I've done involved in CrossFit.
You motherfucker, because I'm concentrating really hard. I'm concentrating really hard not to cry here, for God's
Oh,
sake. This is
and
this is wonderful, mate.
at least once every club, because we run holiday clubs, one of them will do something or say something so beautiful or so earnest or so just that we weren't expecting. And at least one of us will go, I gotta
It
go.
fucks you up.
Yeah.
It just completely fucks you up. And like you start this thing to impact young people's lives, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
like to help them out. But the degree in which they will actually be helped, you will never be able to understand. And sometimes you get that little insight, that little sprinkling, and you're like, oh shit. And it just crushes you in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way, right?
I get those
profound.
sprinklings now. And the thing I love to think about teenage girls, people love to hate on teenage girls, right? No one has any sympathy for teenage girls. People think they're shallow, they're mean, they're lazy, they're catty, they're bitchy. I mean, I can tell you for a start that in the right environment, the wrong environment, they are all of those things.
Yeah, agreed.
In the right environment where they feel safe and supported, they're none of those things. Those behaviors are
Agreed.
defense mechanisms that they employ when they are in an environment where they don't feel safe. And a lot of time they don't feel safe at school for many, many reasons. But what I love about them, I mean, I love a million things about them, but what I love about teenage girls is they're resilient. They are way, way tougher than people give them credit for. And I know that in my life, I had a couple of instances where like literally just one adult was nice to me or listened to me or supported me at the right moment. And and whether that adult at the time knew what they were doing, it made all the difference to me in that moment. And I love the idea that by doing something that I love, which is coaching weightlifting and making this safe space and getting other women involved who are also having the time of their lives, we could be doing that for these girls, quite not by accident, but you know what I mean? Like we don't get up every morning going, I'm going to change some lives. Well, actually we kind of do sometimes. But we feel that from the feedback from their parents, from their teachers, from their educators, from their guardians. A lot of the girls that we see are in care, and we see the impact that it's having on them. And it's amazing. And it feels so simple, Alex. Like, how did nobody think of it? I feel sometimes like, am I missing something? Like, how did I invent this? I don't think I did invent it, but how did we figure out that just putting girls in a room together where they feel safe, you teach them anything?
And you know what I think the biggest piece is? I think the biggest piece is consistency, and that's from your part. Because guess what? You show up at the same time, you're there the same day, and a lot of them don't have that consistency in their life. Whether that's from their mates, school, whether it's from themselves, because they don't have a fucking clue what's going on within them. Because guess what? Neither do we. We don't have it
Literally,
figured out.
I tell them that all the time. I'm like, you think you're confused? I'd love to tell you that gets better. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. the consistency of just turning up, as in we, the coaches, we turn up for them.
The same
And
face.
we, same faces. I mean, we have an amazing roster of volunteers who come into our clubs because they are volunteers, right? I'm not, no one's getting paid. But the girls know that if they turn up to our studio, their studio, as we refer to it, and they see a woman wearing a Strong Girl Squad t-shirt, they know that that woman is safe and cool and is going to look after them for that day, and knows that they're going to get fed, because we feed them hot, nutritious food. They're going to get looked after. They're going to get listened to. They're going to be asked to follow, like we set high expectations for them, right? Work hard and be nice. You got to put the work in. When they grouse and whinge about me making them lift, and we'll be downstairs warming up, and I'm getting them to do like jumping jacks and startups and stuff, and they're all just like at first, and I'm like, this is not the lazy girl squad. This is not, I don't know where they meet, but this is and eventually they get stuck in. But yeah, that they know that they have, and I hate this term safe space only because it's been misused so much, to kind of describe, I don't know, something about woke culture, like people need safe spaces. People do need safe spaces. What's so wrong with wanting to go somewhere where you can be reasonably certain that people are going to be nice to you? Like, that doesn't feel like super woke to me, especially not when you're talking about teenage girls, especially when you're not talking about vulnerable teenage girls. So we make sure that the gym, in their mind, equates with safe space.
I love you for saying that. And it gives me a bit of flashbacks, like when I was still in the UK, in the south. I used to work for a swimming club. I used to be their lead strength and conditioning coach. So I used to facilitate about 350 kids a week from the ages of like 7 to 19, right? And you'd see on average maybe 140 to 170 of them. Like, you don't see them all every week, because of all types of nonsense. But there was about 350 within a pool, pardon the pun. And you got the excellent squad, or the ones that wanted to go nationals, internationals, Europeans, fucking Youth Olympic Games and all that type of stuff. So we had about, the youngest was maybe 13, 14, but the average was around, mid-puberty, kind of 15, 16, 17, a couple of 19s. But they're all bunched together, and there's male and there's female. And that dynamic was fascinating, right? Because usually you have to, metaphorically speaking, unfortunately, because I was in the South, so I couldn't punch a kid. If I was in the North, it was a little
get
different.
mad when you do stuff like that.
Just a couple of pussies, But anyway, and it's the same.
I'm laughing because I tell them all the time I'm going to throw them off the fire escape.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time the only reason I don't is because the amount of paperwork I'd have to fill in.
100%.
So they think that's hilarious.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm dyslexic. I'll probably spell it wrong anyway.
Seriously. Anyway.
But you have to essentially pull the dudes down and lift the chicks up. So we're on an even playing field. And guess what?
Yep.
Community takes a lot in the short term, but it takes very, very little in the long term if you've done it right.
Yeah.
Because it grows itself and it self-manages itself. And now the next thing, like a dude is holding a door open for a lady, and she's opening the door for a dude because it's an equal line. They're waiting for each other to finish.
Just teaching them respect.
Because it's an equal line. And everybody, I remember a few months in, I had some difficult sessions with them, but anyway, some few months in, and everybody's staying afterwards. And the questions that they ask are life questions.
Yeah.
They're not, how do I get better at swimming? How do I get faster? How do I get fitter? It's like, oh, I'm worried about such and such.
Yeah.
And it's that consistency piece. We showed up every time. Yeah, it was like headbutting a wall for 4 months, but that's the same with people. I think everybody needs to coach kids, and I think everybody needs to coach people in the disability community, because you will understand there is no fucking difference to coaching quote unquote normal adults. It is exactly the damn same, right? People are fucking pricking your ass sometimes, but so are we. They're going to be thinking the same for us. And then this weird thing happens where the synergy just clicks and we understand how each other clicks now and how we tick and then they blossom, they open up, and you
Yeah.
probably do the same, and I probably do the same as well. And I
I
love
think
it how you've created that.
anyone who's spent any time in a really well-run CrossFit facility, and when I say well-run, I mean run by leaders, coaches, owners who understand the real power of community,
Yeah.
and who understand that keeping egos in check and keeping, walking the walk and talking the talk. If you've spent any time in one of those kinds of facilities, I mean, this is what we've been banging on about for 20 years. Like, that's the power of community, is the ability to make people feel safe and make them feel supported so that they can focus themselves 100% on the work that's in front of them. That's the idea, right? And it isn't different for teenage girls, and it's different only in so much as so many people in education have given up on them and have decided that teenage girls just don't want to do sports. They just don't. And whether that is an obvious giving up or a tacit kind of, well, they just don't seem to be as enthused about the sports that we want to play. The Strong Girl Squad is proving that I've taught those girls ostensibly the least feminine sport on the planet, which is weightlifting. At like traditionally feminine. We all think it's feminine, but traditionally feminine. We've had boxing sessions where we hang up the heavy bags and we get a boxing instructor in and we put the gloves on them, and they're little savages. We've got them to do Zumba. We've got them to do yoga. We've played endless games of just football in the gym. Like, I have yet to find a sport that girls as a group don't want to do. They don't exist. But if we have a learning environment where they can wear clothing that is comfortable, because PE kit is terrible. It's terrible. It's awful, right? It's really bad. And when you try and put that on a young person who is already hypersensitive about her body and then expect her to flail her arms around, not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. If they're in, and they do say that they get teased by boys when they are in PE, if they have to do mixed gendered sessions, the boys are making off-color comments whatever. I'm not saying it's right. What I'm saying is it has a massively detrimental effect on the girl's ability to concentrate and participate. However, what we've found is that this environment creates like almost like CrossFit. You know how the gym makes you better so you can go out and do things in the world, right? Builds your confidence, builds your physical strength, builds all of those things. Strong Girl Squad's almost like a hyped up, hyper version of that, where if we can get them for a couple of days in a holiday club, we can build their confidence enough that they will then go and join our CrossFit Teens class, which is co-ed, boys and girls, and coached by men. But they would have never done it, ever, if we hadn't had that little incubation unit period and taken it seriously. Like, these are the things that have to be considered. You got to make them feel safe and comfortable so that they can relax and enjoy what they're doing. And I really dislike the idea that children don't deserve safety or they don't deserve comfort, like that's somehow coddling them. Like, I'm still making them lift weights. I'm still making them do hard stuff. I'm just putting them in an environment where they don't feel uncomfortable. I just feel like do you know what I mean? By, like, people love to rag on teenagers, tell them how easy their lives are. Oh, you have it so easy nowadays. You have no idea what it was like when we were young. But ask any adult if they would want to be 13 right now. And they all say, fuck no, no way. No way would I want to. So which is it? Do teenagers have it easy or do they not? Like, why are we so incapable of offering young people a little bit of sympathy and a little bit of grace? I don't know. But whatever is stopping us from doing that is stopping girls from participating in sport, and the numbers don't lie.
Oh, they don't. What is it, like 13 years of age? Like most people in the UK, females drop out of sport because it's, either socially or whatever else that
Exactly.
they drop out. Blokes, it's like 15, 16.
And on the bloke side, it's usually they will drop a sport of the several that they play.
And then they start drinking.
And right, they discover beer and girls, and it's all downhill from there. But girls, by the time they start secondary school, so by the time they're 11 or 12, they will have self-selected. They will have decided if they are sporty or not sporty. 70% of them decide they are not sporty. And at that point, it's almost impossible to turn it around. Of the 30% that stay in organized sport, by the time they're 14, a huge portion of them will have stopped. And that just sets us up as a gender for a terrible health outcome going forward. I mean, weightlifting aside, we know weightlifting is so important for the female body. But to just grow up thinking that no level of physical activity is for you, what a disservice we're doing to our young people. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
As you can see, even 2 years into this project, Alex, I'm still quite fired up about the outcomes of young women.
I mean, fitness allows us to express ourselves. And if we can't express ourselves, we're going to be fucking Mentos and Coke. Right? And then we wonder why people blow up. And guess what? Like, ladies' fucking bodies change, especially in that like weird adolescent period, right?
Yep.
And then the natural cycle fucking happens every month. And it's like,
man, I'd love to tell you, our bodies never stop changing. It is outrageous behavior. Like, men, you're born, your balls drop, you die. That's it. Just from cradle to grave, they never stop changing. I'm kidding. I know I'm oversimplifying. But yeah, that physical activity, we know for everyone of all ages, genders, identities, physical activity is a massive benefit to our mental health, to our self-expression, to our level of happiness. I would argue that for teenage girls in particular, who are struggling to come to terms with the changes in their physicality, the changes in their social groups, the changes in all the pressure that they experience at school, to not be prioritizing girls' physical health, physical activity is just, it's unforgivable. And that will set us up for the never-ending raft of changes that happens as we grow up and our cycles take over. Maybe we get pregnant, maybe we have children, and then hooray, menopause. And at every stage, physical activity is recommended for maintaining our happiness, regulating our hormones, protecting our bone density, and stopping us from killing people.
So you have that switch.
I lift weights so that I'm not in jail. Straight up.
Oh, I've said that for many years.
Do you know what I mean? And then have you ever had the conversation where it's like, jail, I mean, I don't know, 3 square meals a day and all the gym time you want? Can it be that bad?
You don't get paid though.
True. After COVID, when we were recovering from COVID, a few of our coaches and I, we were sat around going, how bad could it be? But yeah, we all recovered. But anyway.
Mate, I think it's really important that we understand ourselves so then we can communicate it in a better way. But I also think I got 2 points. I think it's really important that it's ran by ladies to start off with, because initially, from a face value, it looks like a more open, willingness, relatable environment, right? But then I also think it's important to place emphasis on the male side of, you need to now understand this as well. You've got to meet this lady halfway. You can't be like, oh yeah, you got to figure it out. It's not my problem. It's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking ignorant prick. Like, you have to meet them halfway. You know, it's like, I'm not going to know what's going on. So that's your responsibility to figure that out. But it's my responsibility to be able to create my environment and my aura around me. So then it's willingness and open. Like you said, when the ladies then come into the youth class, which is run by a bloke, it's like, okay, well, I can't stand there with my arms crossed like I'm trying to fucking nail everybody in the class with a hammer fist. It's like, no, you have to understand there's differences and create that environment in which they feel comfortable to open up. And guess what? They might not, but they feel like they have the opportunity to.
Yeah.
But it starts
we feel really strongly.
you guys.
we feel so strongly about including men in our project. We're still working on the details of that. Like at the moment, we're so enjoying it being a female only environment, only because representation matters.
Yeah.
And the girls are getting to meet female strength coaches and female CrossFitters who are just so into it. And we're all getting to hang out. It's a really friendly environment, but we have had men involved in the project before, and it's been amazing because these girls need to know what cool, decent, amazing men are like. They need to know that. They need to know how to interact with men. And we don't hate men. I've got to make that completely abundantly clear.
No, you're not coming across like that. You're all good.
At all. Some of these girls have zero reason to trust men, right? So we're trying to make this environment as safe and wonderful as we can, but always with a view to introducing them to as many cool, inspirational people as we can.
Yeah.
And yeah, I in no way am I trying to, teach these girls that they're better than boys, or that, there should be any aggro between boys. I'm trying to teach them to be as good as they can be.
Yeah.
And to not take any guff from anybody, particularly if somebody comes down on them because they're a girl.
100%.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And I think protecting the initial environment of where they do the strong girl squad, whether it's in or out of term, and keeping that as a female environment is a really good idea. And then also opening the door of like, well, we can come with you. I can hold your hand and bring you to this new environment. There will be co-ed, there will be fucking male and female in there, but they're all cool people, and they're all, guess what? Burpees and fucking barbells is the same for everybody,
right? It sucks no matter who stood at the front of the class. So yeah, I think it's that, Alex. It's that understanding that we just need to. I say it's an incubation unit.
Yeah.
The Strong Girl Squad is just a little hothouse, a little greenhouse where we just get their confidence to sprout, and then you can go plant them wherever you want. And maybe it's in a CrossFit Teens class, maybe it's at a regular gym, maybe it's at maybe they just participate a little more enthusiastically in PE. Whatever it is, we'll take it because it's more girls moving more often.
Sorry to jump in, but then
no, go ahead.
Then they don't take shit in their work environment in 20 years' time. Or if someone's being a little fucking shady, they're not just gonna be like, oh, I felt like I just had to go along. No, you don't. You fucking don't.
Nope.
No. Like
we do a lot of work around like agency and speaking up for yourself, and like being a strong girl means you've got all these friends who will back you up, and that you don't, not to take shit off anybody. Like, my friends joke that I'm growing like a little army of Valkyries, and I'm like, no, but kind of.
Why not?
All the things that make what makes a strong girl, like, it's not just the weight on the barbell. It's how you speak to yourself. It's how you speak to your friends. It's what you tolerate in other people. It's how you show other people grace. It's how you show them respect. It's all of those things. And we're trying to role model that with them and show them how important that is. And you can only do that with somebody who feels confident, right? You can only be really strong if you're confident. And so that's the fundament, the crux of what we're doing, is to try and build their confidence. So
what a better tool than a fucking piece of steel.
It's so good. If you go on our Instagram, I'm just about to upload. We had a photographer come to our last club, and I'm just about to go a little mental with the photos, but like, you've never seen anything cuter in your life than an 11-year-old girl in a matching bra and leggings combo, lifting little tiny baby weights. Oh my God, I can't handle it. It's just beyond, because they just love it. They absolutely love it. And there's no stopping them. There's no stopping them. God love them.
Oh, mate, you are doing such a wonderful job, and you're inspiring people who are not just female, pal. I want to put that out there. It's not just women and fuck everybody else. It's no. You are addressing some psychological issues in people who are developing into characters, which we're all doing, but they're also developing physically as well. And then going through the whole, sometimes they're in urban poverty, sometimes they're in rural poverty, sometimes they're in an orphanage, sometimes they're in fucking whatever. But people are going to understand that this is going down in a little part of the UK and be like, you know what? Maybe this thing is powerful. Maybe this fucking movement thing is fucking more powerful than we thought. And maybe I should think about it in a different light rather than PRs and fucking quarterfinals. Fucking go jerk yourself off in a corner. Like it is way fucking bigger than that. You know what I mean? Like, and
It is.
you got
You
me
know what
fired up.
though?
I'm
And
gonna
you
headbutt a wall.
do you know what though? I know that, and I think I have similarly headbutted a wall over those issues. And then I went to an affiliate gathering here in the UK, and I was talking to Carl Steadman, the man, the legend.
I love
And
that
I said,
bloke.
right, what's not to love? He's going to be greatly missed, although Andy Edwards is going to do a great job. I said, Carl, I feel like the last fucking person on earth who believes in what Glassman said, who believes in constantly varied functional fitness, who believes in building a community, who believes that this thing could be bigger.
The floor is yours, my friend.
So, and those of us who've been in CrossFit a while and maybe spent a lot of that time coaching, and we've gone through the levels, leveled up, level 2, 3, some of us trying for a level 4. It's very easy to get so frustrated by, as you so beautifully put it, the fucking semifinals and everybody wanking themselves off. Right.
Don't quote me on
And
that.
like
Come on.
now, so it's very easy. Let me say that again so you can edit it out. It's very easy to get cynical about the emphasis that's placed on competition rather than what we know is the true power and strength and potential of CrossFit. And a couple of years ago, I was having a crisis of faith. I was just like, I don't understand how this is all still, the emphasis on Instagram and all these crazy expensive coaching packages and whatever. Like, just I don't get it. And I went to the affiliate summit, and Carl Steadman, the man, the legend, I said to him, I was like, Carl, I just feel like I'm the last fucking person on earth who still believes in what Glassman said about everything, about functional movement, about making people better, about building communities, about building strong families. And he just looked at me and he was just like, nah. And I think that's exactly what he said. It's like, nah. What you need to know is we are in the very silent majority. And he said it with absolute confidence. He sold it to me, which is that, the vast majority of gyms out there are living the dream. They are taking care of people. They are growing their communities. They're looking after folks. They're doing all the things that made us fall in love with this crazy thing in the first place. And what you end up seeing on social media platforms isn't that. And you and I know, like we're both nodding and smiling because we both know that's true. And yet it's so easy to get to the point where you want to beat your head against a wall and just be like, why is nobody paying attention to the important shit? Everybody's paying attention to the important shit, or most of us are. I believe that. I genuinely do believe that. I would have hitched my wagon to a different pony by now. I would have left CrossFit. God knows we've had enough opportunities to do it. We've been given enough chances to hit eject and go do something else. But I still believe in it. And I still believe in the people that are in it. And I still believe that we are doing the right things for the right reasons for the right people. And on the days when it's hard to believe that, just imagine Carl Steadman stood in a room full of people just going, nah.
Yeah, he has been he has been the person who's made the biggest impact in my life.
He?
Yeah.
Really?
Outside of family, he is family. He definitely is. And he is a wonderful human being. And whenever there's any troubles, he's always on the end of the fucking phone. Bless him. He has to deal with me just effing and jeffing and calling people cunts. And we ride at dawn. I'm ready to kick the doors in with crowbars. And he just listens and then, essentially just turns around and says, hold the line. And I think about it I can think about it quite regularly, mate. And every now and again, I'll flick him a message. I was like, whenever your next thing is, whatever it is, You let me know. You draw the line and I'll hold it. Like, no problem.
Good lad.
I'll get to somewhere in the Highlands. I'll start, digging holes, or I don't know, whatever the fuck it needs to be.
When it comes to like when the day Carl puts like a quiet word out saying we're building a compound and like prepping for the apocalypse, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm
Everything's getting
100%
dropped.
there.
I'll
Right?
fax
Like
him.
I'm
fax
going.
him saying send coordinates, and that's it.
Yeah.
Morse code or
for
something.
sure.
I've got it's like a secret James Bond. He is Skyfall right now. He is in Skyfall.
Literally. Yeah.
But no, like your faith does get tested sometimes, and I don't know whether it's self-proclaimed or whether it just kind of happened to be that. But I guess I'm the nomad coach. I called it that with this podcast, with fucking moving around too much. But your faith does get bloody tested and stretched, because you go to some gyms and you're like, you only look at people as dollar signs, and that winds me up. You go to other gyms, you're letting the egotistical fucking cunts run this place, and that winds me up. But then there's also beauty within people, and we have a choice. We're at a crossroads. You can really focus on the negative and get yourself all worked up, and people like you and I are probably too passionate, and we rub a lot of people up the wrong way. But that's
I feel
not
like
a bad
if you're
thing.
going to achieve anything of value in this life, some people are going to get rubbed wrong, right? I'm not out there trying to fuck people off, but the universe is going to try and slow you down, and you have to just juggernaut through it.
I was once given a piece of advice.
Yeah.
If you're going to fuck something, you might as well fuck the shit out of it. Right? And it's like, you know what? Let's not live life.
Where's the lie? No.
What's the point?
No,
what is the point? Everybody, I would like to say everybody, but the vast majority of people who got in a CrossFit, they don't want to live life half cock, because they wouldn't do it. There's way easier ways to make a buck.
Way easier.
Way easier. But we're in this thing, and even if you don't like the coaches, or you don't like the institution or whatever, you actually walk the fucking dance floor, as Stedders calls it. You walk the gym floor, and there's beauty within the interactions of people, and we make a difference, even if you are the fucking intern who makes God knows what an hour, like next to nothing, right? Or you're a level 1 or you're a level 4. You make a fucking difference.
Yeah.
Because look at someone in the eye. And that's what you're doing, mate. That's what you're doing with the young ladies. And I am so excited to see the generation that comes out of it. Also,
me too.
I'll be in UK at the end of the year. Let's do something. You let me know. You draw the line, I'll hold it. You let me know.
Are you serious?
Mate.
What? Whenabouts?
I don't know. Whenever the rubber dinghy gets kind of blown up, and I just get in the paddles and fucking.
Okay.
But it will be. It will
whenever
be.
you wash up on a beach. I would love that, and whether it's at ours or whether it's at yours or whether it's at some kind of gathering, whatever. I would love for you to come over and see the studio. But again, I understand that Lincoln is in the middle of nowhere, and I don't need too many excuses to go to Manchester if that's where you're going to be.
Wonderful city.
But I love Manchester. I got a lot of time for Manchester. I've always had good friends there, good gyms, good experiences. My current business partner is deeply Mancunian. I need subtitles to understand most of what he says.
Fuck yes.
Good lad, but yeah. You should come to ours. You can meet Keith. You and Keith Jones can vibe.
Keith.
But yeah, just let me know.
Of course he's Mank. Keith. With a name like Keith.
Yeah. And we all call him Keef, like Keef. Like that's what gets written on the board. Right. Yeah, Keef. He's a good egg.
Yeah, if we need to come over your end, like, no problem. I want to spend.
Let me know.
I kind of passed through last time I was there, literally just kind of.
Okay.
And I want to spend a little bit more time and give back to the fitness and health community of the UK.
There's a couple of like the kind of gyms that you would appreciate in this area. Like my friend Sam Vidler has just opened, or she's just taken over CrossFit Grantham. The guys at Fossway are doing great things. The guys at Hull and Humber are doing great things. Like there's we're all isolated together out here in the East
We're
Midlands.
all alone in this together.
Right. We're loading it together, exactly right. But I think you could do a pretty healthy little box tour of the kind of gyms that would fill your heart up around this area. And yeah, I can point you in the right direction of some really good people.
Mate, I'd love to, if it's just drop in and I just work out with some folks, or if they wanted me to guest coach a class or two, like I'm in, like whatever. Like
Yeah.
this thing is a wonderful thing that we pay our bills with, and it is a fucking privilege. And also,
Yes.
if you see different demographics of people, you learn new people, new ways of doing things. You're only ever going to get better, right? Teach me how I'm doing it wrong. Be curious, be open,
This is it.
and throw
I always
yourself
say
in a
I've like
fire.
none of us invented this shit. Like I love
No.
I love when coaches get really like protective over their stuff. Like me, none of us invented this shit. Seriously. It was here before gyms existed, and it'll be long after, we're gone. So yeah, teach me everything you know, because
Yeah.
we'll
And
get
then we'll
better.
teach
We'll get
somebody
better.
else. And
And we'll teach
mate,
somebody
we
else.
we remember the time when you go into those grungy ass gyms, right? I used to go to this. It actually got voted #1 bodybuilding gym in the Northwest, right? And it was a converted house, right?
A house?
Yeah, it was a house, and they converted each room. They went round and converted each room, right? And
Where
there's
was it?
in Warrington,
All
right?
right,
And
okay.
there's bars on the windows, like legit fucking bars on the windows. And you go in and you
Okay.
pay your money and you slot it down, and everybody in there is wonderful human beings, right? Wonderful. And everybody is sharing pieces of information. Just like, oh, have you tried this? Oh, you're looking great. Fuck, that's heavy. Like, have you tried that? Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And I remember that. I remember walking in for the first time. I was 12, just kind of benching around, fucking around with it's the North, mate. Things happen early, you know what I mean? Like
Mate, I'm not judging. I'm just imagining. I just love the idea.
I just rocked in, put me £2 on the counter, you just kind of walk in, you do your thing. And
Yeah.
and everybody's just there like, all right, let's have a good time, but let's train hard. And
Yeah.
once you leave this thing, you go do whatever. People go in different directions. We don't need to know. But once we're in this environment, everybody's equal. Male, female, fucking professional rugby players, professional bodybuilders, an
Yeah.
accountant, a 12-year-old kid, that they're all just like looking after each other. And I remember the sharing of like, I was a kid, and these old fellas just like, oh, try it like this, mate.
Yeah.
Try it like that, mate. And you're like, fucking hell, like I miss those days. And that is fitness to me. That is this whole kind of strength and conditioning realm. I had
Yeah.
Coach B, I had Mike Bergener on the other week, and he was like, yeah, what a
Oh,
wonderful man. What a wonderful man. And he said the same thing, right?
that's
You just
my CrossFit crush, my lifting crush is Coach B.
he is a wealth of knowledge, plethora of
Yeah.
knowledge.
Oh God, imagine.
But he was just like, you just used to share things, and I dive into old articles and textbooks about the old USSR strength and conditioning post-Olympic cycle, just fucking
Wow.
nerding out about shit, right? And you're like, that's what this
Amazing.
thing is, because
Yeah.
nobody invented a squat, nobody invented a deadlift, and if I can help you, you're gonna help me fucking 10 times over, and then we can then go out and help more folks. And I think that's
Yeah.
the beauty of it, mate. And I think we got to, going back to my
I
original
agree.
point, we can get stuck in the weeds of the ego and stuff,
Oh
or
God.
we can just go the other way and be like, you know what, there are some beautiful souls out there. And to quote fucking Steaders, nah.
Yeah. Nah. We're the silent majority. As you
Silent
say, most of
majority.
us are out here plugging away every day, trying to make our members' lives 1% better, trying to make our coaches 1% better, day in and day out. And it's quiet. Confidence is quiet. Insecurity is loud.
Ooh,
So we're out here doing it.
Jesus.
Right? It's true.
Fucking.
So we're out here just
I got 3 questions.
go ahead, okay?
What's the greatest piece of life advice you've ever received?
The greatest piece of life advice I ever received is probably, well, it was, again, it's a bit pithy. It was put on on a t-shirt more than once, but it was a man can fail many times, but he's not a failure until he tries to blame someone else. And
Oh,
yeah, that one hits me really hard. Like that whole idea of taking responsibility. That,
oh,
you can get it wrong. You can get it wrong and you can fail, but you are not a failure until you cease taking responsibility for yourself. Um, that was one of the things that I learned in CrossFit that I don't think any other aspect of my adult life had taught me yet was you're a grown up now and it's time to take responsibility for your shit. Um, so I like that idea because it allows you to get things wrong and it allows you to fail. But so long as you're still putting your name on it and going, yep, and owning up to it, you yourself are not a failure.
yeah. And I think that has a really unique position within CrossFit to teach that to kids, right? And to teach that to adults who haven't had that lesson either, because it's like, oh, coach, I could have done. I was like, well, you didn't do it. You
Yeah.
broke.
Don't be
You didn't.
upset about all that. Don't be upset about the results you didn't get after all that work you didn't do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like it because it's so simple and it is universal.
Mm-hmm. So that age old quote, right? Like I used to bench 405 in high school. Nobody cares, me. Nobody cares.
Literally. No, I mean, it's not a terrible thing, but if you're a jerk, then your 405 bench doesn't mean anything to
Yeah.
me. And, I'd like to know what you bench now
Yeah.
because that shows me the effort that you're putting in now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
There was a video with bars years ago that essentially turned around and said, nobody cares what you can do in the most perfect environment on your best day when everything else around is perfect. We care what
Yeah.
you can do now.
Right now.
Like,
Yeah.
let's do it right now.
We never used to. I'm so old. I'm so old school. I mean, I'm old. We never used to post the workout ever
Yeah.
because it's like my first coach used to say, you don't get 24 hours notice before a bar fight. You turn up, you throw. Oh, I know, right? And it was just like, come on.
I'm in.
You don't get 24 hours notice for a bar fight. You turn up, you throw down with whatever you have to hand. And so for the first like 7 years we were open, we didn't post the workouts.
Mm.
And then we got a booking system and whatever, and people started with that. Well, so we do post them now.
Yeah,
But every
yeah,
once in a while, we will still put, if you go on BoxMate, if you go on our booking system, every so often, at my insistence, you will see Wednesday bar fight. And it just means you turn up and find out what's
fuck
on the
yeah.
board. Yeah, right. So,
It's me fucking
but
fired
yeah,
up, man.
right. But this is what I'm talking about. All the gyms on the planet are out here doing these little things, man. They're out here keeping their members sharp, holding the line. That's what we're doing.
Holding the
So,
line.
holding the line.
Mate, what's the worst piece of life advice you've ever received?
The worst piece of life advice I have ever received. Probably, I've been very lucky. I don't think I've had much bad advice, and if I have, I haven't listened. Um, I I'm a sober person. I haven't had a drink of alcohol in about 7 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Um, there's a long storied history of troubles with alcohol in my family, and I finally decided that I was tired of rolling the dice with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and over several times since I joined CrossFit, over several times, I tried to quit drinking, as in I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not for me. I just feel like I'm rolling the dice. I'm taking a risk. And I got a lot of shit from a lot of people in my life who couldn't understand that decision and would give me a lot of stick about it. And I look back now at, the decision I made and how hard I stand by it. And I guess that really taught me that occasionally your friends don't necessarily have your best interests at heart. They think they do, but that you have to rely on yourself to make the hard decisions. You can't take a straw poll of your buddies and find out what to do. So I don't think that qualifies as bad life advice, but had I listened to those influences in my life, things might be very different now for me. So, yeah, I guess bad life advice would be whatever anybody's telling you to do, if in your heart you know it's wrong.
Situational friendships.
Situational friendships and people letting their own self-consciousness or letting their own fears about maybe their relationship with a substance affect the way they deal with you. Yeah, I wouldn't go as far. I don't think those people were bad people, and I'm still, some of them are still in my remit, still in my circles. But at the time, had I listened, I would have made a bad choice, and I
Yeah.
knew it would have been a bad choice. So
I got a
yeah.
quote.
Okay.
Life's a game. Figure out the rules you want to play the game by, and don't expect anybody else to play by the same rules.
And like treat it like a game we're all gonna lose in the end. Like,
Or do we win?
why not? Well, I mean, we're all racing to the grave, right? Like nobody's gonna figure out the secret that unlocks eternal life. I don't think so anyway. I'm certainly not holding my breath over it. Yeah, figure out the rules and play to the best of your ability. But I mean, you know, try not to hurt too many people on the way.
Don't be a
I think
cunt.
that's the best. Don't be a cunt. It's not that hard. Do you know? That's the really sickening thing about it, is it's like really not that hard to be a good person. And
Yeah.
yet some people still fuck it up so catastrophically.
Yeah.
Like, I always like a piece of life advice I try to live by a lot, and again, definitely didn't realize when I was young, is that unhappy people make bad choices. So when you see somebody who is really screwing up, like who is really being a cunt or is just really fucking it up, instead of asking them like, why are you so stupid? And a better question is like, why are you so sad?
Oosh.
Because I've never met anybody who was a happy person who made the kind of choices that we're talking about, like the kind of choices are like, what is fucked up? What's wrong with that guy? I've never known a really happy person to be a total cunt.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, the truth, right?
All right, one more question.
Seriously. Okay.
What are the 3 words you would tell your younger self?
You are good, or you're good enough. I think if more young people believed in their inherent goodness rather than something that is decided by other people, how cool they are, what their grades are. I think if more people just had that fundamental, and like, it's crazy because I have a really beautiful family. I had a beautiful childhood. I did not grow up in trauma. And yet still that idea that I wasn't good enough somehow implanted itself in me and made me make decisions that weren't so good. So I think if we spent more time telling young people that just by virtue of their good choices, just by, be nice and work hard, you're good enough. Not as in like settle for less, like not like, well, I guess you're good enough, but you alone are enough. You are enough.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been great.
Mate, this has been an honor and a privilege, mate. I appreciate it a lot.
I think it's honestly, it is always my pleasure to speak to somebody as passionate as you and with the life experiences that you bring to the table. And somebody who has had maybe a similar amount of time in this industry and has accrued the same kinds of cynicisms. And like, all it takes is getting 2 of us in a room together and suddenly we're like punching the sky, like getting all fired up again. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to go lift now, otherwise I'm probably gonna punch somebody on the street.
like,
I'll be so
it
fired
is
up.
literally 10:30 at night right now. Oh my God, I'm so wired. I'm gonna have to go meditate to try to go to sleep. But anytime you want to chat or catch up, whether it's recorded or not, we can have chats that aren't recorded. It would be my pleasure, my privilege.
Mate, whatever happens at the end of the year, let me know because I want in. I want the line to be
When
drawn,
you're
and I will fucking hold it.
and I will hold it when you're back. Drop me a message, and we'll figure out a time and a place to hang.
December,
Sling some tin, chat some shit.
100%.
Bring your Canadian girlfriend.
Oh yeah, she's in. She wants to lift. You know what yous are like.
Yeah, I do.
Just like
Yeah.
lifting. It's the fucking. There's people after my
Mate.
own heart. I'm like,
We come from a country where people hunt bears with axes. Okay, being strong pays.
I love it.
Go.
I
All right.
think I got a bit of a theory. If you grow up in an environment with nice weather, I think it makes soft people. You know, you need a little bit of darkness, a little bit of cold to seep into your bones, and it makes people a little bit more robust. You know what I mean? Like the North is always
Ye-
best.
You are not the first person to put forward that theory. And I can neither confirm nor deny how I feel about it, but I can tell you now, standing at a freezing ass cold bus stop when I was 11 years old with my hair freezing solid, built some character.
100%. Fucking puts hairs on your chest.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like the Bane quote, isn't it? I was born in darkness.
I was born in darkness. I
I
waited at the
fucking.
bus stop in darkness.
You're talking about sunlight. What's this fucking weird yellow thing in the sky? It hurts. Like,
Hey,
get rid of that. I don't
honestly.
need that. I need fucking rain. I need it to freeze. I
Yeah,
need dark. And I'm
I
good.
want snow on the ground 5 months of the year.
Fucking
Let's fucking
hey.
go.
Mate, I appreciate it. You go have some family time. I'm sorry for
I
keeping you
will.
so long.
No, it's
Give my love
honestly my pleasure.
to the family, and I'll see you soon.
All right, bud. Take it
Legend.
easy.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.